It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, Buzz Buzz babies, it's Blake, it's Friday, it's the start of your weekend, which is always a good time, right? And we're about to have a better time because I've got a returning guest with a very cool Kickstarter. You guys might know him from the Kickstarter successful hit and the now Band of Bards hit, American Dreams, and he is expanding his superhero universe on Kickstarter right now. I'm so stoked to talk about tonight. Mr. Daniel Kalban with Rook Knight is in the house. What's up, dude? How you been?
I'm good. It's been a long. I literally got back from a con Monday of July, which I back to work.
Yeah, you launched your campaign on a Saturday of a con.
Friday,
which is the Friday. Okay, all right, well, still, so day one of a con, you're tabling, you're launching your Kickstarter. How, like, walk me through that process, right? Because I feel like, well, I guess I don't know what kind of Kickstarter creator you are. Like, are you constantly like refreshing and looking at the numbers and watching the campaign? Yeah,
I'm constantly refreshing because I'm like, come on, move.
So how was that, like, tabling and trying to focus on tables and passersby while simultaneously?
I should do it. I was constantly refreshing every so often. Thank God they had Wi-Fi at that convention center that worked. But yeah, it's like it's really funny because the guy who was helping my Kickstarter was originally supposed to launch it for me at noon sharp, and he sends me a message as I'm setting up because this show wasn't starting for like another couple hours. He's like, Daniel, you have to do it on your end. I can't launch.
Oh no!
Because apparently only I had that ability. He has other access.
Oh, okay.
So 10 minutes past the original launch day, I planned. I went ding, and we're off to the races. And then it was like, okay, come on, people.
That's something not a lot of people notice, though, right? Like, it's very rarely do people have like announce like the exact start time, right? They're usually just like goes live on the 7th or goes live on the 9th or what, and it's like, so I mean that's not as big a deal. But I mean, now on your end, right, when you're trying to do like a million things at once, right? That's not the message you want to get.
Yeah,
like, hey, I can't do this, Daniel. You got to do it, and then you got to do it on your phone. Now, if it's anything like when I was doing Kansas City Planet Comic-Con, cell phones were almost useless. Because everybody's trying to use their phone at the same time, and it's just like very hard to get, or you have a signal, but it's very hard to get that signal to do anything. Like having to do all that, so I guess it's good.
I think Nicholas was a smaller show, and B, no, it was still just vendors at this point.
Okay,
we didn't start until like 2:30 or so.
Oh, nice.
So I still had a couple hours where I could just sit, relax, and help people. So and then occasionally check stuff.
And then you got the badge day one. You got the Project We Love day one, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah. And I was like,
very cool.
That's good. We can keep moving. And so far, we've been doing pretty decently. We had a couple slower dates, but a couple other dates have really helped push us right now to, as of right now, 60% of our goal.
Yeah, you're at $2,437 out of 4,000. So yeah, you're over just like between 50 and 60%. 120 backers, 22 days to go. You're in a good spot. So I mean, yeah, campaigns are moving a little slower right now anyway, right? For a lot of people.
They've been doing it all year, it feels like.
Yeah, it's I'm not one that's going to like blame the algorithm and stuff, but I mean, Kickstarter is more of a congested platform than it has been in the past, right? So there's just whereas like people used to say like Kickstarter is not a competition. Well, like sometimes it is a competition on who gets seen and who doesn't, especially, with all the new weird social media ongoings, right? And like we're all so used to being able to advertise on Twitter and advertise successfully there. That's hit or miss lately. We got all this new influx of new social media platforms. I know for my clients, I'm posting to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram Threads now, Blue Sky. People are wanting me to try and get on Reddit and kind of mess around there. Someone said something about Pinterest the other day, and I was like, really? So I don't know. I'm open to it. I'm open to try and whatever gets eyes on these projects. But yeah, it's just like it's a lot now, like juggling all these social medias, juggling these campaigns, trying to stay organized, trying to also live your life outside of comic books.
And it also didn't help also that a certain site recently had its own recently decided to curtail everyone's views. So it's
yeah, exactly. But hey, like we said, you're in a good spot, which is exciting. We got some people in the chat wanting to say hi to you. We got Joey Galva's in the house. What's up, dude? We got Mr. David is on. What's up, buddy? Love you. Mr. John Westoff's in the house. Rooking and rolling. I like that. That's good. And that's what the campaign's doing right now. It's rooking and it's rolling. Now, this is an interesting campaign. I know you love DC. And I love the big two as well. But like, DC means a lot to you. I see you do a lot of social media talking about, like that one, those people that like that one director a lot that cause a bunch of ruckus for everybody, and you're highly critical of them, which I get, but you stand up for DC a lot in an age where it feels like a lot of people go out of their way to kind of throw them under the bus and
exactly.
Be very critical of them.
It's like they're hypercritical to the point of they lose the forest for the trees, and like a lot of people unfortunately make a lot of ad revenue writing articles bashing and. It's like a lucrative like a little pinata to do.
Yeah.
After a while, it's like you're not going to give these things a fair shot, no matter what. Your mind's going to be made up, and that's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
And then we have people actively rooting and trying to make a whole freaking slate die.
Yeah, it's great. It's crazy. It's but I mean, we've all talked about that before. Yeah, like how toxicity gets you metrics. It gets you views. Some people don't want those views. Some people live for them. But it's like that, drama gets you a couple extra clicks, and a lot of people really play into that. And I'm not a fan of that kind of, behavior either. But long story short, you're a big fan of DC, and this Rook Knight is very much, paying homage. I know you're a big Damian Wayne fan too, like I am. And it's, you're toying with this idea of like this father and son vigilante team, right? They're a bit more violent, right, than the dynamic duo that we're used to. They don't have as many like reservations, but there's this father son mechanic, this different dynamic duo. And there's also like a young superhero universe you're beginning to sprinkle into the Libertyverse now, and a lot of similarities between like some of these iconic DC franchises that we know and love, but you still make it very much your own. You remain uniquely in your own voice and your own narrative, while paying respects to these other things. Is that ever like a challenge to like play in this kind of template? And then simultaneously like tell your own stories? Like, do you ever kind of struggle with that while you were playing?
Sometimes it's like easy because like American Dreams itself is relatively much easier to do because it's a different setting than your typical superhero book, even going back to the original Golden Age. Here it's like I have to tread that like line. It has to be homage, but it can't be like direct. So you have to find that balance. And then I'm throwing some Marvel curveballs in there because you have Night Wrath, technically Libertyverse, so he's more kind of like a Venom Hulk kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's set in New York, again, mainly what Marvel does versus DC. Though DC's done more realistic stuff, like world cities, and since the post-crisis universe. But moot point, New York tends to be Marvel territory.
Yeah.
But I do New York because it's what I know.
Yeah, it's your home. It's your hometown. You gotta. I like that you pay that you kind of stay in that area. Because you could have made up a city too. I like that you didn't do that. I like that you stayed in New York and bring that kind of culture. I've commended you about this before. The amount of culture you bring into your narratives, especially with American Dreams and how when a lot of modern media tries to, it seems like, mute Jewish voices, right? You have championed against that, and I love that about you, and I love that you bring as much of that in as you can, to remind people that there's this wide berth of culture that's not going anywhere, right? And representation matters, and I think it's very cool, what you're doing in that regard, and I'm excited to see you expand it. And I mean, judging by the numbers of your Kickstarter, I think a lot of people are excited, for you to expand this. And I know this might be like too soon to talk about, but I'm pretty sure if you Kickstarter math, right, says that this is going to fund where it's at right now with how many days left.
Yeah.
With another successful project under your belt after this, like how many more titles are you thinking about bringing in? Because I know you've been tinkering with a Western and some other stuff.
I do a lot of stuff, but those aren't Libertyverse stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be different, right?
That stuff in the back of my brain, I want to eventually bring more to the fore, but like I have to figure out the timing of everything. Like right now, I want to finish Night Raft Arc 1 and Rook Knight Arc 1, and then a crossover project.
Nice.
And then figure out where to go from there.
Okay. So what will be the next? So are you going back to Night Wrath after this? Because I know you got the trade out for American Dreams, and Band of Bards is about to re-release it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a revised version because self-published versus direct market and book market. So there's going to be some tinkering. I have to talk to them about that. Some ideas of what I do to just tinker.
Nice.
Naira 2 is next on the docket. We had to get a new artist because what's what happened. So Gabe got this little project called The Exile with Leslie Snipes. This small indie project, which ended up being an international phenomenon. And so he's drawing like a madman. And I'm like, do we want to get like a fill-in for you until you can really come back and do the book? He's like, nah, it's my baby. I'll be back in a second. And then, a few weeks later, hey, I thought over again. We do need a fill-in. I'm like,
yeah.
So we have found someone. I haven't announced it yet because they haven't done many pages yet, but
nice.
We found someone who will be taking over for now.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you found somebody. That's always stressful. This happens a lot in Kickstarter. You all find these like talented artists, and then they get seen, and then they get snatched up. Right? My buddy's doing Ruination. The same thing happened to them. Like their artist Julia got snagged up by oh my god. They do oh my god. Oh my god, I can't think of their name. They do the Incal books and stuff. Humanoids. Wow. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, she got snagged up through them. They had to find a replacement. Luckily for them, the replacement is great, and the new issues look phenomenal. But it's a stressful time when that happens, right? Yeah. Like you've developed a relationship with these people. You're kind of starting to vibe. You got the issues out. People dig it. Fulfillment's happened. Like it's in the hands of people. Everyone likes it.
It's actually the second time that's happened to me.
Oh, really?
And the first time it's for a book. It's supposed to be hopefully on Kickstarter later this year, according to Charlie McKelvey. But I was writing we're supposed to be a 3-part, now it's going to be a one-shot pilot.
Okay.
And first issue was drawn by an artist named David Tinto. David was then hired by Steve Orlando to do Commanders in Crisis. And now he's at Marvel. He's like beyond our reach. So trying we have to find someone for the back half of the book for the one shot.
Wow. So you guys just need to like pick shittier artists. Like no, you got too good of an eye. You're finding these gems for the big two and doing their hustling for them. But it's also cool to see. It's cool to see these indie artists rise up. Like that's the name of the game, right? Just similar to watching like you started on Kickstarter, now you're in the direct market. Your scheme of things is changing. You're doing more cons, more people are noticing you. It's the same with like Kickstarter. Your Kickstarter following has gotten a little larger now too, right? So hopefully these sequential campaigns that you launch get a little easier. What is it like now when you're playing both sides of the field, right? When you're in the direct market with Band of Bards and you're still doing these Kickstarters as well. Like, do you enjoy relinquishing some of the control to have a little bit of help, or do you kind of?
I don't mind right now. I don't mind at all, especially compared to some past publishers I've had.
Yeah,
Band of Bards has done very well by me, and vice versa. And it just helps with distribution and everything because I can self-publish, but I can't do distribution as well as they can.
Okay.
Especially because they know they have the online store. And while I tried having an online store, I'm like, I can't handle having all the books, doing the mailing, kind of the day job.
Yeah.
I won't have time.
Yeah, because you work at a law firm that keeps you pretty busy a lot of the time.
Yeah, like today was dead quiet for usual, but like even this morning, I was like, before I even got to the office, I had to go to Brooklyn Court to pick something up. So it's like there are days where I'm like literally running out of the house to run to court before I even get into the office.
Well, I'm glad you're digging your time at Bandit-Bars. They're a very cool publisher, and it feels like, you know, I think American Dreams was a good fit for them, right? Because like, you know, it's their kind of superhero book, right? And so now they have like this indie superhero book, but these titles have sold out. They've had to order more copies from Diamond. Diamond even bought some back from Bandit-Bars to fulfill store orders and stuff. Which, you know, these are good problems to have, right? People want this book, and you've gotten some great new variants from some awesome, you know, I know Alex Moore, Fellhound did some awesome covers for you. And when is the double-sized finale?
Double-sized season finale is this month.
It is this month.
End
Okay.
Of this month is the double-sized season finale.
So like, what? That's like a week away, 2 weeks away, something like that.
3 weeks away. 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. Oh yeah, it's only the 7th. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So end of July, you're gonna get, so right, 1 through 4 are out now, or 1 through 3 are out now, and then the 4 and 5 double size is gonna drop. And then what are you guys thinking about for the trade of that? Or you said you're still kind of talking, so you guys.
I'm still talking to them. We're supposed to have a meeting after our con in Buffalo.
Nice.
We were supposed to, and it was stormy. The day of the last day of the con, it was raining buckets. Now I'm easier to move. I just put everything in a wagon and push. I had my dad help me with some of the other stuff. We just went out in one, and I got a text as we're getting to the hotel, which was not far from the convention center. Thankfully, I got a message from Bandit-Bars like, "Hey, we're not going to make it to do dinner with you because we're stuck in a line for loadout, and we have no idea we're going to be out of this line." They had in cars because they had more stuff than I did.
Yeah,
and so it's like we don't know when we're going to be out of this line.
Okay, well, but it's still coming, which is exciting. Coming. It's
I have some ideas I want to bring to the table. Like, see if we want to add. Because I know I want to bring stuff that was the additional content from the Kickstarter trade. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I also want to see to make it even more special if we want to add like another short.
Oh, nice. Okay, so add like that. That's interesting because that's usually what people do for the Kickstarter trade is add a short to entice like previous backers or digital backers to upgrade or go that route. But you want to add a short for the direct market release of America.
Yeah, well, just to make it more special. So like, because I know people sometimes double down and get the new edition, but honestly, if you want to add like one more little thing.
Okay, well that's cool. That's exciting.
It's up in the air. I can do like a short, or I can do an additional prologue. There's a couple ideas.
Okay. Well, that's very cool. And now, as much as I love American Dreams, which I've reviewed some issues, I was a backer for the trade. The trade fulfilled correctly. Well, it did fulfill correctly, but I meant to say successfully. But it's a good looking trade paperback, and it's a nice, really nice collection. Some great superheroing. And again, to go back, like why we're here, which I guess I should bring it up. Let's bring it up. Here's the page. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Rook Knight. Let me copy and paste some linkage for our viewers and people watching later. This will show up in the comments. It will never fail that I have 2 monitors and always lose track of my mouse pointer. I will never learn. All right. So there's going to be a link in the comments for you guys to click, check out, go to the campaign. Also, if you follow Daniel, if you follow any of us, it's easy to find. You can also Google it, but here's a link for you. I'll just try and make it as easy as I can. So Rook Knight issue 1, a fast-paced action comic. I love just this idea. It's so fun to talk about this comic about you because it's so fun to say like the Libertyverse is expanding. I even kind of did that in the little video I made for you, right? And it's just it's exciting. I don't there, not a lot of people are doing this on Kickstarter, right? Like, it's, you know, the indie superhero and crowdfunded superhero comics, it's not like those are unheard of, right? They're becoming more and more prevalent, but this idea of like a built and expanding and living, breathing universe that can be, you know, added to, you know, as whenever the creator has the time. But you know, like what made you, you know, obviously, like we mentioned, you know, you've got some, you love DC, you love what they do, and of course, like, they do this a lot too, like the crossovers, the big universe, the multiverse, the 52 worlds, right? These all these elements that we've grown up with and become accustomed to. But like, what, you know, as a crowdfunded endeavor, like that's a lot on you to like both successfully pull this off, and then plan it, and then fund it, and then deliver it, and continue expanding. That's a lot of extra work on you, which I also think is why you're doing so well, because like there is all that love and passion behind these projects, right? And so like that, the drive is there, the heart is there, the charm, it's all there. But like, I don't like, I don't want to say like it's going to run out, but like, I mean, do you ever worry of like exhausting yourself? Cause you do a lot of tabling, you do a lot of cons, you're doing a lot with a day job while chasing this dream, which I totally respect and admire. And like, I think it's amazing. But you know, like, have you ever sat down and been like, I don't know, Daniel, and then like either have to like talk yourself out of it or talk yourself into it, or have you come to that crossroad?
Like there's days and weeks where I don't, I might outline, I might, you know, write down notes, but not script, and all of a sudden I'll be a flurry of script writing. It also depends on the timing, because I could be like a day at work where I have nothing to do. Yeah. Like, let's get going. Ooh, I actually cracked my knuckle on that one. And then there's days where I'm like, I just come home exhausted. I'm like, I have to write out a couple things, but other than that, I just don't want it. But then
how do you balance that with your day job and life, and you know, and all that? Like, do you give yourself room where like
I have to try to find it? That's really it. Otherwise, so basically the simple answer is I have no idea. I just found balance and time. Like, a couple weeks ago, I was like, I need to write the Man Cave Talent Search script. I need to write the Man Cave Talent Search script. And I basically sat myself down, I think a couple weeks ago, and just pounded out that first that draft, and then I reworked it. Really, that draft was like a 15, 16 page draft.
Which you got to cut down to what, 5?
For this Man Cave search. And then I read the requirements again, like, oh, I have to cut.
Yeah. It's 5 pages, right?
12 max.
Oh, you get 12 pages? I didn't know that.
For a writer, yeah.
I thought it was 5. I could have sworn it was 5.
I saw 12.
Well, I haven't looked. I haven't looked. I was like, that was last year, because I almost wrote. Speaking of, David says that's our secret, Blake. We're always tired. Because I almost did a Nottingham short last year.
I definitely overshot the 68. So I had to condense it down from 12 to 8.
Okay. Well, that's still from 15 to 8. That's a lot of cutting.
Yeah.
So that's how are you like that? Are you good at that? Are you good at condensing, or is that?
I'm usually like not that good. So with a small miracle, I was able to condense it all down. I was like, this gets cut. This gets moved over here. Squish.
I dealt with the same thing doing Travis's Cthulhu anthology this time, because I got 2 pages, and my first draft was like, I kept like drawing. Well, drawing is a kind way to say what I was doodling on this notepad, but like everything I did came up like several pages, and I was like, I only have 2 pages, and it was just like, you know, get condensed. Luckily, I used to write a lot of poetry, and that's, you know, one of the things they teach you in poetry is like, you know, you don't waste words, you don't waste lines, and it's always, you know, so I have that in my mind now, even when I edit stuff. It's always condensed. It's always like, you know, turn these 3 lines into 2, turn them into 1. Don't waste words. It's why I've been critical of a lot of Marvel Disney Plus shows, because I feel like sometimes some of those, like, the first 3 episodes could be condensed into 1 sometimes, right? It's all Basil exposition. Yeah, right. Pete. Oh, I'm losing my mouse again. Pete Collins in the house. What's up, baby? He says balance. What is that? I don't know. We all figure it out at one time or another.
Yeah.
But long story short, let's get to this. Let's get to this campaign page. We got the Rook Knight. I love your logo, by the way. I love the R and the T, and I just think it's who did your logo?
I believe it was Chris Bernanti from Panda Bards.
Oh, Topher.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of that for people. He's really talented with that. So yeah, that's cool. All right, so it's a father-son vigilante duo are waging a brutal war on crime. However, they are starting to fall apart. The scenes. I love the drama in this issue. I love how that's just there's so many moving parts and this father-son narrative, and I like how you could have gone either way, right? Like you could have given them a strong relationship and celebrated that and written it another way, which could have still been strong and emotional and kind of utilize like the fear of like a father-son working together. What if something goes wrong? Right. And but you went like a different way where they're starting to combat with each other on top of these villains they're fighting. And there's a lot of even more intense emotions being thrown around, and just like there's just a lot of great drama, and I live for the Cape drama. And this is the cover A from the Baggs brothers, who are the artists on your campaign. Super talented guys. Here's the cover V, and I think I love the covers, but I love this one. Like this one just literally burns. It's fire, right? Yeah, it's like it's absolutely great. And that's Sally Lockhart, and like this is a great, really great cover. And now we got these cool I almost said business cards, trading cards, which I also like. I love stuff like this on Kickstarter campaigns because I read a lot of books simultaneously, and so I always need cool stuff to use as bookmarks. And I feel, especially like if I'm reading omnibuses and stuff, right? If I'm reading $100 book or a $50 hardcover, I gotta have a good bookmark for that. I gotta have a cool thing to place in that. And this is high praise here. The man who knows cards better than anybody else, Pete Collins, who makes the absolute best business cards. For him to say that definitely means something. Pete, also thanks for
we got more cards coming out too.
Nice. So is this going to be a thing? Maybe you continue with other campaigns?
We are thinking of expanding it because hopefully I would like to have like a little polls prize thing at Baltimore, where 3 for a draw, 5 for 2.
Okay.
To get.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, like make things exciting. Keep things switched up. This is also another really solid deal. This Baggs Brothers commission. I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but whether you are a creator or just a collector of art, you can get some fucking deals on Kickstarter to have covers made or to just get some great commissioned art. I think more people need to pay attention to Kickstarter just because of that, right? If you're making a comic and you're needing a couple variant issues, you could save a lot of money by backing a campaign and getting an original art tier. And a lot of people market this too. So it's not frowned upon to like back a commission tier and have them like draw a cover for you, right? Like it's, a lot of people play into that, right? Like, hey, like they'll do a cover for you. They'll do a pinup for you. They'll, but I think more people need to know about that. Just like I said, whether you're a creator or just a collector of art, there's some really, really great commissions you can get on Kickstarter.
Right.
For $100, sometimes up to $200 cheaper than you could get at a con table or through a commission list and stuff like that. Like, I think, right. Like, I mean, people need to pay attention. And basically what I'm saying is you guys should hop on this tier and drop the 175 bones because the Baggs brothers are awesome. And A, they're great. They're great people. B, they're super talented. And C, you could get a really cool piece done or a cover or a variant for your future project at $175
and comics.
and you get comics on top.
And
of it.
artwork's digital too, so it's not like we have to worry about shipping you the art. It's like, whoop, wow, done.
Boom, yeah, boom, bam, done. You get it. That's awesome. I like that. I like that you gave them that opportunity to do that for you. Now, how did you? I know we have mutual friends like in Travis Gibb, and like they've worked with him on a bunch of stuff. Like, how'd you get connected with the Bags Bros?
And sorry, it's gonna be something like a repeat for me. They reached out to me. And like, do you want to do something? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, let me think what it is. And what I had this other idea which involved Rook Knight, like an earlier version.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the characters. Some of the characters I had, including Rook Knight. I just didn't like the story.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, let me take this, let me take this, let me take this, let me mix it up. I told them, give me a day or two, I'll have a script. And they read it. I had my friend Andy Shaggy Corey edit, and they were like, good to go.
Wow. That's exciting. That's cool. Like, I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all. Like, I wish more people read. I kind of said that the other day. Like, I see a lot of like, you know, podcasters and stuff, like they go on each other's shows and stuff. And now Cole and I started Blake and Cole read a book that way. But I kind of thought about that the other day. I was like, man, I wish more people like wanted to work with me. And then I was like, maybe people don't like me. And then I went into a dark place, and then I got out of there because I was like, you're too fucking busy to think like that. But long story short, that's awesome. Like when really talented artists like come to you and want to make your life easier, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's when, as right. Someone who's busy and doing a million things simultaneously, right? Like, yeah, right. Yeah, come to me and bring me opportunities. Like, but that's honestly, dude, like I've told you this before, you're a really good dude. You're a kind soul. You really are, you know, and you work hard, and you lift up your peers, and I see you do this constantly. Like, honestly, like you go out of your way to make sure like your friends' projects get seen. You stand up for your friends. You know, you're always there when you're not required to be there, but you still like, you know, you're good people like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that like the community notices you for that too. And I hope more people reach out to you in the future and are like, yeah, like I want to work with fucking Daniel because he's awesome, you know. And it's just it's nice, man, because like we said earlier, you know, there's a lot of toxicity online, and I've been guilty of that too, right? Like I've fought some battles that I maybe should have kept my fucking mouth shut on, right? And like it's hard to decide, like, you know, when to stand up, when to stay silent, or maybe you just stay silent all the time. I don't know what the answer is anymore, but you know, you are just always like a shining light in the fucking darkness, right? You're mm-hmm. very much like the hero. Well, no, I was going to say you're the hero we need and don't. Well, yeah, you're the hero we need, not the hero we deserve, because the hero we deserve is an asshole because the world is shit. No, but you know what I'm saying? I just love you, dude. Like you've always been good people. You're always super kind, and you work really hard. And in indie comics, like, what else can you ask for? You know, like, I don't know. What else can you do, Daniel? Like, it's like, what else can we squeeze from you?
They're like, give me blood, give me everything.
Yeah, give me your blood, give me your... But no, I just I'm glad the community sees it's what I see. I'm glad people notice your hard work. I mean, you know, and it seems like, you know, you've made a name for yourself, and that name is expanding, your circle's expanding. It's very cool to see you in a good position in indie comics, right? Because like, you know, we've talked about this before too, is that, you know, indie comics it's a tumultuous environment sometimes, right? You never know what's going to happen. You know, you never know if a publisher is going to have your back or not. You never know if a publisher is going to be able to stay a publisher, if they're going to be able to pay people, if they're, you know, there's a lot of new stuff every day, it seems like, you know, and times are tough for comics, and it's nice to see like the good people still find a way, like Ian Malcolm says in Jurassic Park, like, you know, life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
Chaos theory, baby. But like, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about, you know, yourself as a creator, and where you were like now as opposed to last year? Like, you know, like, are there are you critical on yourself? Or like, do you try and push yourself more? Or are you impressed? Or like, you know what? How do you view your style?
I mean, I look back and I'm really impressed, but there's still days where I'm like beating myself up because I'm doing the comparison game, which is never a fun trap to get yourself into.
Yeah, don't do that. But we all do that.
Yeah, we all do that. Or I'll just be frustrated or cranky, or because we all have days like that. But then I look back at where I've come from, and I've had some bumps in the road, but I've come back roaring.
Yeah, you always do. You really do, man. You there's a lot of days, man, where I feel like it, like if you got kind of down about like the tabling stuff for NYCC and the badge things, you know, and that was hard. Well, first of all, you weren't the only one.
I know.
NYCC got fucking weird on a lot of people.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there, but that honestly, like, that was tough to see, man. It was like, you know, because you're one of those people, like, when I get down, like, I look at you for like, no, I don't ask you for advice, but I just look at your like uplifting light, right? And I'm like, you know, what would I need? I need a bracelet. What would Daniel Kalban do, right? And it's like, you know, but I really do, man. Like, you, as someone who tries really hard to brand off of positivity and stay really positive, you know, in the face of like the unrelenting weight of social media and the weirdness it provides and all the stuff that we do. I do look to you a lot, and I have a lot of respect for you, dude. And it's it was tough. It was tough seeing you get down, right? Because I was like, fuck, if Daniel's down, where am I going to be tomorrow, right? You know, and no pressure though. Just always stay happy and wonderful for all of us. But long story short, ladies and gentlemen, like, Daniel's awesome, and you should follow him on all the social medias. You should back all his campaigns, and you should read his comics, because that positivity, that ray of hope, even in this very dark, very violent, very brutal Rook Knight first issue, there's still like a ray of sunshine once you like look between the panels. There's, you know, you kind of, and maybe that's me knowing you more now, but it's just like, even though you're kind of trying to hide it, I still see that glimpse of hope. And I love that you're playing with that in your superhero narrative now. I love that you're like, you're bringing in the hard times, right? And struggling.
You have that balance. As much as I write that gritty, because Rook Knight is pretty gritty. You can get some grim stuff.
Yeah. We'll see the pages here in a second. Like, but it's rough.
Yeah, but you have to have that little ray of possibility. Yeah, of hope. Because otherwise, it's just so depressing, and it can't be like, real being haha joke. But that's pathos. We don't do that here. We try to do more pathos. We try to do like a balance.
Yeah. Also, Joey, just real quick, Joey said something about the cards, dropping them soon. He has a new idea. Oh, so Joe, yeah. So he's working on something. You guys are working on something with the cards.
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
But is that ever hard to like? What about your real life though? Are you good about keeping that balance and structure in your real life and looking out at the bright side? Or
it can depend on the day to day. Like, I've been on the couch, so to speak, since elementary school. So therapy helps people. Therapy helps. Meds help. But even that, I had rough days.
Yeah. But hey, everybody's got rough days. Not everybody can get past them though. Right. Yeah, and that's the luck and the struggle.
And the day where I got to the table on top of having the pro badge, despite so far, because despite the appeal process, I'm like, salt in the moon. But like I said later on, it's not so much not getting the table, it's not getting the pro pass after 2 years of having it.
Yeah.
That's what's really
yeah. That was so weird. And I mean, also like Lonnie Nadler, like there were a lot of good indie people. Yeah, like so many people, like NYCC was like, you're not real, you're not a real comic professional, and like that was just a bummer. But anyways,
weird.
I always do this every time I bring up the campaign page. I get sidetracked. And we go, but let's keep chugging through this campaign page. So again, though, but I can't say more about the price of this bags commission tier and how many of you guys should check it out. And not only will that like severely help the campaign get funded, because it's a nice chunk of change, but can also, whether you're an art collector or you have a project coming in the future, can really save you a bit of money. So I really encourage you guys
We have two left of
to check
those.
that out.
We have
Oh, there's only
of
two
those.
left. All right, yeah. So you
hurry up on that,
you
guys.
better hop on it. You better hop on it. I love this sticker. I love this sticker so much. Who designed it?
That was Joey.
Joey did that. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. Good kudos, Joey. That's a dope sticker. All right, so then we got the more cards for the stretch goals. Love this. Using some of that great artwork. What's this? A mini print?
It'll be like a big print, like a card stock,
okay.
hopefully.
Nice. Let's see. All right, so introducing. There's Rook the father, Knight the son, and they how they come together. And I love this. I don't know where he gets it from. I know exactly where he gets it from, Dad. No, sorry. Past trauma just came out. Just no, I have a really good relationship with.
Well, notice the little caption I have under that picture. Just go down a little bit. No, just go back up to the little caption underneath that picture where it said slam. No, back down. Back down. A little more. Look at that little gray caption underneath that picture where it says slam.
Oh, I thought, okay. Parent. Oh, nice. Parent. I thought you said gray couch. I was like, Daniel, there's no couch in any of these images. All right. No, I've listened to too much loud metal music throughout the years. That's my fault. But all right. So here's the pages. Here's the sneak preview pages that we can show, which if some of you watched the video I made, that like I use some of the art here, but here they are, like laid out as the artist and creator, set them up to be. I love how menacing these, like, dude, I just don't trust these people. I feel like there's money and guns, and they all look kind of scary. And I love the vibes coming out right on page one. And then I love here he comes, like right behind him. The double tackle swooping in from the ceiling. I mean, look, they're just cracking people in the skull, blood's flying around, like. It's like, and it's just that's such a Damian Wayne pose too. Like I love that you love Damian Wayne, by the way, because like I will die on the fucking hill of Damian Wayne being like Damian Wayne and Dick are my like dynamic duo. Like if anything ever changed and it was Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne as Batman and Robin, you will see me on the internet like. People will probably unfollow me because I will attack. I will go on the defensive and be like, how dare you? Like, no, like this is the way, like, oh, like, but it all stemmed from like Grant Morrison. Right. And like that, they can do no wrong. And but I love,
they can do something wrong.
But not a lot. But still,
I mean, Pete Tomasi Undead did wrong, but still, I was not happy when that happened. That was apparently everyone else on a Bat book.
Yeah, I still remember when they killed Damian, and the newspaper leaked it before any comic, like DC let like the major news outlets like leak the article and say like Robin's dying. And so like everybody knew Damian was going to die before that issue of Batman Incorporated dropped. But I still remember going to the comic book shop and grabbing the issue, and like I read it at the comic book shop, and they knew I was going to buy it. Right. But I had to know. And so like I read this issue in the corner of the comic book shop, and then I'm like trying not to cry in the comic book shop because it hit me, man. I got real emotional. It was not as emotional as the silent issue of Tomasi's Batman and Robin, but people. Yeah. But like I just remember, and like there's so many people who don't like Damian Wayne, which is funny because he was written for you not to like, right? It was designed for you to think he was a little prick. And then he latches on to your heart, and you get into him and you invest in him, and then they kill him and then they bring him back. Right. And it was a very, in my opinion, a very successful arc, but a lot of people aren't super into it. And so anytime I meet I knew you were good people when you like Damian Wayne. Basically.
Yeah, I mean,
anytime I meet Damian Wayne fans, I know I'm in a good place.
Nice little Damian, he's a little Jason, he's a little Tim, he's a little Dick Grayson.
Yeah, he's a little bit of everything you love in DC.
Yeah.
And he loves animals. I love how he brings in like the dog and the cow and the cat. And he like brings all these animals into Wayne Manor, right? And for a short time, Bruce has to connect with those without him. And even then, like those were hard story beats to deal with emotionally, right? Like where he's like
one of the reasons why I shifted that original story to Rook Knight, because I'm like, it was really supposed to be a more ensemble story, and Knight wouldn't have been killed; he would have been severely injured.
Oh,
and I was like, I'm reading this and like, I can't bring myself to actually pull this out.
Okay.
I could not bring myself to actually do that kind of story. I'm like, no, I can write it, but I can't do it.
Oh yeah, I was like it was too much, or did you not think you could you could compete with the weight of it, or
the kid heroes being injured and whatnot, but like right at the point where they're almost dead, they still live and can recover. It's like I don't want to go that far.
Okay.
After that point, I guess it starts getting. Who knows? Maybe later in my life, I don't know. But as of right now, I'm like, no.
And you don't have Lazarus pits in the Libertyverse yet, right? Right. So that's another element.
Like that would have been like severe physical therapy for a while, basically. But like I have like cousins who are younger than this character, like little cousins, kids of cousins. So I'm like, that's part of my brain going, I can't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's been a weird critique for a long time too. Like, the boyness of the sidekick and the on top of the short shorts. But like, we're not going to get into that. Like, I love how these designs that we're seeing right now, these character designs, a lot of pads. They're not hockey pads, but like what these designs that your characters are wearing, they're very modern, very, very combat heavy. Did you design these? How like in depth were you into the design?
I cannot draw to save my life. But I can.
Yeah, but you can give ideas and feedback.
I think let me see what I wrote in the actual script. I think I wrote something along the lines of that design. I wrote.
Please tell me you wrote they're not wearing hockey pads. That would be amazing.
I did not know that part. So I wrote. Behind the very tall and massive figure wearing armor, the Rook chest piece on the chest stands, cracking his knuckles. Okay. He's wearing a simple domino mask, long black coat, yes or no. So we hadn't decided at that point. His short dark hair and stubble. That obviously is Rook.
Yeah.
Knight described as an athletically built teenage boy about 15 with close cropped brown hair, armor of the Knight chest piece as dark short leather jacket.
Okay.
Billy Club.
So when you work with your artists, like, and based on what you just read from your script, like it sounds like you're pretty open for them to, to collaborate, right? Yeah. Like you're very open to artist influence and like, like you want your creators to let you know if they think they could do something better or if something's not working visually. Like
we actually went for like 4 or 5 designs for Rook before we settled on the one we got.
Nice.
And I think that helped inform the design for Knight.
Yeah.
Because I think Knight was done like that. But we went for a few design choices.
Okay. Well, I like that. I like a artist. I like a writer who knows how to work with his artists. I love this line. I heard the Liberty Legion has a real psycho in its little book club. Like that's a really good line for like, I'm actually excited for like, this isn't like the real big bad. I feel like, right?
Oh no, we're going to slowly work up.
Yeah, like I'm excited to see because I love your heroes, but I'm really, really, really stoked to see what kind of villain you bring into this narrative, right? Because it's more modern, it's more edgy, it's more gritty, there's more brutality, and your villain is going to have to. Is going to have to personify these elements of the narrative, right? And I'm very, very excited to see who you bring in to just like bring the clusterfuck to Rook and Knights, like even more, right? Because it's like there's already a schism. They're already like battling this, and whether you want to or not, like your story is going to drive the wedge further. Like they're going to be split apart, and they're going to have to come back together. Like these are things that we just kind of know as comic book readers, but your job as the creator is to like, yeah, like you may know what's going to happen, but you don't know how it's going to happen. You don't know what kind of emotions and what kind of new characters are going to come into play to make these things happen, to make these plot beats go from one point to the next. And I'm so excited to see what you do here. Like, honestly, I love this premiere issue. I can't recommend it enough. I'm very, very excited to see where it goes, though. Like, you know, just the more heartache, more cape drama, more grit. Like, you know, it's aching for it. It's ready for it. And it's kind of interesting too, because, you know, Night Wrath was pretty dark and gritty and also a little bit weird. And this doesn't have the weirdness, though. This is more grounded in a normative superhero story than even Night Wrath, right? Because Night Wrath has like the Hulk, Spawn, Max kind of like 90s, like we're big and muscly and whatever we want to do, we're going to do. And this is a little bit more grounded with a little bit more realism, right? And it's so you're going to have to get more creative in the drama and tension you induce into the narrative. And I'm stoked for it.
I actually finished issue 2's script already, so we're just waiting for this to be done. I want to get paid and everything should be, and then we'll go straight to issue 2.
Nice.
And there's a mini boss, couple mini bosses in that issue. One for Rook, one for Knight, and they'll probably have Knight's battle more in issue 3. But it's fun. Rook goes for the ringer. Poor Rook, I put for the ringer so badly. It's right because. I mean, he's being an asshole, obviously, because of what's going on. But
yeah,
like he gets the shit pounded out of him in
nice.
issue 2. And what's interesting also is that we also introduced some more connections to the overall Libertyverse in that upcoming issue as well.
Cool. I love it. Like, honestly, like. I don't know that everybody could pull it off, but I have faith in you to pull it off, to pull off this shared universe, with this crowdfunding endeavor. And like, I don't know, man, like I said, it's exciting to watch you work. Now this is cool too. So add-ons for the campaign, there's still Night Wrath issue 1, and you can get now, if people get the trade paperback on the campaign, are they gonna get your Kickstarter trade paperback, or are they gonna get the new one? Do you have an option for people who want like the old version, or are you just like,
I do not, because of certain agreements I did with Band of Bards, yada yada yada. But like the idea is to bring the new version out. I have additional material beyond what we did in the original trade. It's to be determined.
Okay.
But this way, you know, they don't have to just go issue one. They can have the whole saga so far.
Nice. Which is cool, because Night Wrath is also is definitely worth picking up. That's another strong title, and is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's a beautiful book. Lots of muscles and veins and rippling chaos, and I love it. Very nice, like a 90s visual look with a modern narrative and more focus on, you know, emotion. You know, like you get it, dude. You get that, like, cape drama has to go beyond the punches.
Right.
It reminds me of like Death of Superman, right? Like Death of Superman is one of the things that really, really got me into comics as a kid. And like, my dad brought me the graphic novel. My dad was the janitor at my school, and he used to like, I found out later, my dad smokes a lot of pot, right? So my dad would like take a break and like go get high, and I don't like it's all legal now, right? But like some of these things my dad did for me was an excuse to be like, I'm gonna leave the school and go drive around and smoke a bowl and come. But regardless, he's still like, he left and went to a comic book shop, picked me up the Death of Superman trade, came back. Me and all my friends are out at recess. He comes up, he gives me this bag with a comic inside of it, and it's the super Death of Superman trade paperback. And he's like, the guy at the shop told me this is the thing everybody's wanting. And like I read that at school, and it's like, who would have thought like Superman could die, right? And there's so much punching and there's so much destruction, but there's also like Lois Lane reporting on all this and watching the love of her life die. And you never thought that this could happen, right? And so it like Death of Superman got that like cape drama needs more than violence, and it played that. And you're
theater,
yeah. And but you get it. You get that in like all of your narratives. Like you get how to attach us to characters. You get how to attach us to surrounding characters, and to the goings ons of the worlds that you've built. Like you understand the assignment, and that's why I love your passion for big two comics, and I love that you bring that to the indie field. The indie comics are lucky to have you, dude. Like,
thanks.
It's just you really get it. It's one of the main reasons I love I love Tom King so much, and Tom King does the same thing. Like he shows us the weaknesses of these modern Marvels, and he shows us how to break them, and he shows us how they pick themselves back up, and a lot of people look at that as a sign of weakness and as bad writing, but I don't see that. I see a tale where this larger than life character is really faced with his humanity, and one of the hardest parts about humanity is picking yourself back up when you fall. Yep. Why do we fall, Master Bruce? To pick ourselves back up. It's one of the smartest lines in cinema, right? But you get that. You understand the assignment. Where did you learn this? What comic, like for you, like what centric comic to you like taught you this formula and solidified it in your mind as like, this is what superhero comics should be like?
I don't know. It's probably a modicum of like just comic me altogether. I also had like a really rough year of high school. I had 2 breakdowns, so I had to do that by myself personally. So maybe it comes a bit from that. But also just, Death of Superman, obviously, and other great stories.
Yeah.
In the end, you have to remember, superheroes is not just punchy fighting. It's also the greatest longest running soap opera or grand theater.
That's true.
Out there.
That's true.
But soap opera without the over excessive. My twin's dead, and cousin's former roommate is back for vengeance. No. That's a little too soap opera-y. But then you have someone like Dr. Doom, is just, as one would say, is extra all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Did anyone tell you that you priced your comic too cheap? Especially for this early bird special. Even the $10 regular price is. I just like, we've all talked about this and several discords about how to price all this and that kind of.
It's hard to. It's basically it's print plus a little bit back. So.
Yeah.
But it's like print is like $2 something in a copy, so
okay.
It helps, but like you have to at the end of the day, it's also that narrow bid. You have to figure out the price margin.
Yeah. Jared Lujan was dealing with the same thing. He was on the show the other day and he was like, we went a cheaper price point and banked on more backers than, charging more and expecting our regular 300 or 400 or well, it was like 200 to 300. And so he's like, we're going to go cheaper. We're going to bank for 400. He's coming up on it. You're coming up on it. It's I appreciate it. I appreciate the thought to consumer in the crowdfunding, in the crowdfunding world where things just, and I get why things get expensive. It's more expensive to print. It's more expensive to ship. Like pricing is in a constant flux. You never really know what you're going to get with, but yeah, but I do appreciate you like really another way that you go out of your way for your audience is to make it affordable, to make it easy to access, to like there's like I basically feel like when I look at your campaigns, it's like they just got to be like an enemy of yours to not want to back your campaign, right? Like it's just like like you have to find like a fuck Daniel Kalban forever person who like can't ignore like the great artists you work with, the cool stories you're telling, and the very enticing price point on a Kickstarter project that you offer people, especially with that early bird special. Like it's like people got to find a reason not to read your comics, and that's what you want, right? You want people to find a reason not to read you, not have to find a reason to read you, and that's one of the great successes you're doing right now, dude. And all kudos to you. You got to figure it out.
Thanks. I will note that right now a lot of people are going for is digital.
Yeah,
and digital, it still helps because at the end of the day, it helps us with the printing of everything.
Yeah, and you don't have to pay. Well, you use a fulfillment service, don't you?
Yeah, I use Like the Hero Studios is as a fulfillment team. So
okay, but still, if for digital backers, you don't have to pay that fulfillment team, right? So it's right. Like that's gonna like save you some money. Because I was gonna say like
other than the
that's just kit, less bags and boards you gotta fill out.
It's like other than the backer kit stuff that they help me set up because they know how to do it better than I can. It's like
nice.
It's made a print.
Now, what I did want to talk about is you had a suspicious pledge, like a big money, like a $5,000 pledge.
5,075 exactly.
Yeah, and you and your people looked into this with Kickstarter and investigated it, and this has been something that Kickstarter has been trying to tackle and combat as well, like them as a community, and even now, so like right now, like if you can still freely cancel a pledge, but if you want to cancel a pledge on the last day, you have to like submit a proposal or a form to Kickstarter to get it canceled. You can't just troll someone, right? And act like you're going to spend all this money and cancel at the last minute. There's like a process now, but unfortunately mid-campaign, it doesn't sound like there's necessarily a way to combat that process. But you like you guys were suspicious, you investigated it, and they kind of figured it out. But like, what are your thoughts on that, man? And like, what is even the point, honestly? Like,
I think some people just like, it's just their standard internet troll, but yeah, and it's just kind of more malicious because it doesn't just give some people false hope if they don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
It also apparently screws you in the algorithm.
Oh. How so? How like
because it makes you go, oh, you're funded. We don't have to push you as hard anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Like I thought it was all just based on like popularity and clicks. But if you're funded, then maybe the algorithm will push you to the back burner a little bit as to other campaigns that need to be funded.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So, and I'm in a group chat with a lot of people, and a lot of them have been experiencing the same thing, not to the level of like 5,000, but like 500, 600, 1,000.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as I saw it, I sent it to several friends. I'm like, this is not legit, right? And they're like, pretty much all like, yeah. So I mainly contacted Kickstarter support.
Now, did they like, because you get to see like the account name and stuff, right? Yeah. Like when they do. Now, was this like, when you guys investigated the account, was this something was this like a brand new account that had just been made, or did it have any backs behind it, or?
Well, first of all, they had their thing set to, they had said they had 4 backs, but.
Okay. Still not much.
But there's like no way to tell which they backed. It didn't even have a last name, so it could have been. Okay. Anyone.
That just, man, it's so like, I don't know, man. Like we both talked about like how busy you are with your day job and your endeavors, and like, with my day job and the PR stuff and the Blake's Buzz stuff and the live shows and like, who has time to waste that kind of time and energy just to like sort of fuck someone over, but not really, because they're gonna get caught, or like it's like it's not like you would have shut the campaign down, like, oh, this backer just funded everything, we're gonna end the campaign, or like, it's just like, it's so ignorant, and it's just like, it's crazy. Like I wish I had that. Well, I wish I had that kind of free time. I would use it better, right? But like, it's crazy what people do, and it's like, I don't know, it's so aggravating.
And it was like Saturday at the con too, so it's like, bing. I'm like, and like you're like, it's been fun. I'm like, that can't be right.
Yeah, at least you kind of knew.
Like, that can't be right. It's not the rate we're currently going. It cannot be.
Yeah. At least you knew. But what sucks too is, like, if there ever is a day where, which I guess, like, if Kickstarter investigates it and they like reach out to the account, and the account's like, no, I actually just really want to support this guy. But it's, like, now you're going to be hesitant of, like, any big back, right? Or even like a commission tier or something that's not $5,000 or something crazy, right? It's just like, it puts that like unknown into you. Now, were you impressed with how Kickstarter helped you handle this situation? Like, what were your thoughts on that element?
I was impressed. I wish they could have done something more I don't know what they did to punish the guy, but I'm assuming they locked down that account. But it's like, there's only so much Kickstarter can do on their end, unfortunately.
Yeah. But it sounds like it was easy to get in touch with them. It was easy to, like, begin the investigation, at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also Joey, contacted them too, because we're both like, yeah, this is wrong. We have to alert them, like, right now.
Well, that's
so me on my phone, like, selling while typing out an email to Kickstarter, doing the screen cap, and like within like an hour, they said, yeah, this looks suspicious.
It just sucks that, like, you had to deal with that, and someone, like, stole a trade off your table too. Like, you just, like, again, like, all the talk I said about, like, how great a voice you are and a good example you are in the community. And unfortunately, I do think that, like, when you come out like that, it does, like, leave you open to the forces of darkness who get mad about stuff like that, right? Like, they want you to struggle. They want your attitude to turn. They want you to not be able to look at the bright side. And that really sucked. And, but I also liked when you, like, posted about that, and then, like, some of the Discords we're in, and, there were a couple people who were like, hey, they might have stolen it, but at least they stole a good comic or something, and it was like the kind of bright side help that the community gave. But it just was a bummer, man, because it was a big weekend for you, right? It's a new, you're launching a new property, you're tabling at a con, you're by yourself, you're trying to do all these things and juggle all these chainsaws, and someone wants to fucking rip off your table, and someone else wants to fucking do a $5,000 fake pledge. And again, it goes back to your strength of character and just how, like, you get irritated. You're not invulnerable, but you don't let it defeat you.
Right.
And tell me that secret, Daniel. Like, how do we not let things defeat us? Like, what keeps you pushing and staying positive?
Well, I can start singing the song "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life," but then we probably get copyright struck. But it helps. It's like you always have to find that silver lining.
Yeah.
And the silver lining for me was it didn't steal any of the CTC books. It didn't steal any of the hardcovers. It sold one softcover trade. So, small miracles.
That's true. All right. So it's just always, if you don't let it get under your skin too much, you can usually always find a road that's less depressing. Maybe, right? True. Right. You just gotta like always kind of stay above it, stay on top of it, and try and control that narrative in your own life, which honestly sounds super exhausting and inspiring, but you seem to be able to just do that organically and naturally. And I commend you for that.
What I just find funny about it is I was gone for like 2 minutes just to get a bit of fudge because the line for getting actual food, there was only one concession stand in the entire convention center, and the line was going around the back.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, I'm gonna run, and like I was trying, and Ben and Barge were there, and I'm trying to contact them, like, guys, I really need you guys to come over here so I can grab a bite to eat of something, anything, and they were busy as well, and they got robbed too. Someone stole a bunch of trades from them.
Oh no.
Something. So I ran over this front stall like a row back to grab a slice. I come back, I made a sale of the trade, and then I realized, wait, one's missing.
Oh, that sucks. Joey says you should have a sign now at all your tables that say "Steal this book." I don't know if that's the best. I don't know if you should aggregate the thieves and dare them. It sounds.
Well, I think the plan is they'll have a table mate or a table helper.
Yeah,
in Baltimore. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I've never seen someone just do a table by themselves.
I've seen it happen. It's hard. Like,
Yeah.
I'll have someone like folks were coming in every so often to relieve me, but they were stuck at a museum in Buffalo, so they couldn't exactly easily come over to relieve me to have anything to eat. And I was like, to the point that when that happened, I was like desperately hungry.
Yeah.
I was about to like knock my own arm off, kind of a little hungry.
You gotta pack snacks, man. That's one thing I learned at Planet Comic Con. Like I had a bunch of 5-hour energy drinks and then energy bars and some mixed nuts and baggies in my bag for Planet Comic Con. So I was like, there was some really good food trucks and options there, but I was able to like just gnaw on my own snacks and instead of like I just did that to save money, but like now like future for your future self or any other new creators that are tabling at cons, like guess what, no one checks your bag, so you can pack sandwiches, you can pack snacks, you can pack a fucking bottle of Jameson or a bunch of airplane bottles of whatever. You can have like some like adult snacks and just for you hungry snacks like in your bag. Like bring those, just in case case you can't get someone to watch your table, because I would say everybody, you want to think like in these environments like we're all nerds, we all have the same love and adoration and we all love superheroes and these ideals the superheroes hold, but that's not the case. There's shitty people everywhere, unfortunately. And
I mean, that's it. It goes worse. There's someone still, I think, an Eric Larson page or someone in your Comic Con like a year or two ago. I think it was Eric Larson or the guy who created Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then they stole a page off the table like that.
Yeah,
before anyone could notice.
I saw a TikTok video the other day of like a Magic the Gathering table, and the guy was like talking to people, and he had like a camera set up watching his table, which didn't help him at the time, but he caught a guy, like a dude came up and he like opened a binder of Magic cards and he was flipping through them, and all these dudes were around the guy talking, and the guy just like he flips through the book a little bit, he takes it and walks away, and the guy was able to screenshot it and like post it to social media and say like, anybody know this fucking guy? But I mean, like, I guess like, because Magic the Gathering cards get like really expensive, and so like this binder was worth like thousands of dollars, I guess.
Yeah.
And like, but this dude just walked away with it, and it was just like, it's like, man, like I don't know. I guess I'm just not a thief, right? I like I can't think like a thief because I'm not one, but it just aggravates me, right? That you guys got to deal with that shit, because I know you guys are there for your own endeavors too, right? You're there to advertise, you're there to sell books, you're there to make a name for yourself, right? But if you guys didn't do these cons, that's going to trickle down into other like people not doing these cons and bigger pros not doing these cons and things, and it's just like, so those are the way I feel about social media, right? When people are dickheads to pros online, or want to tag them in bad reviews, or pretend that they could write a comic book better than whomever, and it's just like, it's like you guys are pushing for these interactions that we love to not happen. It's like you're trying to make people not want a table. You're trying to make creators not want to be on social media. It's like you're pushing for this, and like who's gonna win in the end, right? You're all just gonna be there fucking like circle jerking each other into negativity, and no one's gonna listen. Like, and it's just gonna be you and a bunch of other poor souls, I guess. But yeah, anyways, it was a bummer to see you have to deal with that, and it sucks.
Again, I think it could always be worse. Like going back to cons, not even thefts. Peach Momoko went through last year near Comic Con. That was just abhorrent.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even in her line. I was like, because I was at Dan Moore's table, which is like 2 tables down from her. She had a end cap. And the way these exhibitors who had somehow also gotten fan badges were just treating her because they were trying to game the system was just horrid. I'm in a comic sketch art group, and we were all condemning this because it was so bad.
Damn. Well, I mean, as we've learned with NYCC, cons aren't perfect, for whatever reason. But again, I commend you for seeing the bright side of things and trying to come at it from a different narrative and a different angle, and not let yourself get taken under the current of negativity, right? Which is again something else that I really do. I love about you, man. And it's you're good people, and you're making good comics, and I want you to stay there. I want you to stay there and elevate. I don't want you to like curl up in your shell and say like, fuck that, I'm not doing a con, I'm going to get ripped off, people are going to fake back me, I'm not going to do Kickstarter anymore. Like I want you to keep doing what you're doing and keep celebrating the stories that you want to celebrate, because I think you have a good eye for them, and I think you kind of know what's up, right? And so whatever we need to do to keep you there. Speaking of keeping you there, I've kept you here for over an hour on a Friday night, after you've worked hard all day. And time always flies by when I talk to you, man. I always lose track of time. But real quick, like we posted the link for the campaign, and like, but you've got a Substack now. You've got some social medias. Like, let everybody know how to follow you. Where do we keep track of you?
The easiest way is try to go to my link tree these days, because that has everything.
Okay.
It has
Smart.
it has a link to the Kickstarter. It has a link to my Substack. It's a link to all my social media. Minus the new stuff like Blue Sky and Thread.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah,
let me see if this is the right one. If it's
do you have that like posted on your social media?
It's pinned to my Facebook. It's at the top of my Twitter.
Okay.
So on and so on and so forth. I'll send it in the private chat so you can just copy it here.
Yeah. If you give me the link, I'll.
This has everything basically. Minus stuff.
Everybody should utilize the link tree, by the way. It makes things so much easier, especially when you have a newsletter or a Substack and a couple different social medias and stuff. How you liking Blue Sky?
So far, so good. It's still a little, has some things that could, use a little fine tuning.
I don't get it. And you know what I keep forgetting to do is like someone started a comics thread, and basically it doesn't use hashtags, right? So
yeah,
if you put the word comics plural into your comic book posts, more people will see it that follow that thread. And I forget to do that every single post.
That's
like,
why I'm not getting like Blue Sky. I'm saying comic and not comics, or
yeah. So it's just weird. All right, here we go. Hold on, I got the link, ladies and gentlemen. All right, copy link address. All right, I'm posting you the best way to keep track of Mr. Daniel Kalban. The link tree, it's in the comics, or it's in the comics, it's in the comments, and I'll even pop it up on the screen there. Give him a follow. He's got a cool Substack. I really like the review you wrote for Flash, by the way. I love that. I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting the comic book writer to come out with a big comic book movie. And it was a very thorough, intricate review where you very much were like, don't listen to these little asshats running around, running their mouth, talking about, and I love that. Yeah. I love how you stand up for DC, man. I really do.
Well, I really do. Write for a website called Word of the Nerd, which unfortunately no longer exists. And so I kind of cut my teeth journalistically there. So this was my first actual review, and this Word of the Nerd kind of had an end due to things beyond their they want to continue, but ultimately they couldn't. I digress. But I was writing for them for a good 10-ish years until
Oh, wow.
from the 2010 till they closed. More sporadically when I got the full-time job at the law firm because I had less time. But
Yeah. Did you miss it? Did it kind of like when you started writing it? Did you kind of get that like that itch that you were scratching?
yeah,
You're like,
it was
ooh, I
good.
kind of missed this. This is
Like,
fun.
it was nice to get back to some more journalistic roots.
Yeah.
I also like the fact I did that little disclaimer at the top, like, no, we're not discussing the freaking behind-the-scenes job of Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
It's not what this is about.
Yeah.
If you want to discuss that, go to the gossip seat. And of course,
What do you think about the do you collect like figures and stuff? Did you see the new Amazon Batmobile $75
I did not because I'm
set
not much
that
of a
dropped
toy
today?
person. I collect figures on occasion, but
Okay.
I'm not like a diehard.
I wanted, but like $75 for a Batmobile, I don't have room for, and a new figure is
Like
just
I bought like statues on the cheap, like on
Yeah.
sales from Sideshow, like something that goes from like $100, like selling 75. Like that's much more affordable.
yeah, exactly. No, well, but yeah, everybody, you need to follow him, subscribe to his Substack, follow him on the social medias. We posted the link for the campaign earlier. You can find that link in the comments. Again, I've gotten to read this. I've read the first issue of Rook Knight. It's good. It's full of drama. It's full of that punchy 90s violence that we all know and love, with a modern flair and some new heroic drama. Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely worth checking out. There's some cool add-ons. If you're new to Daniel, you can get his previous entries added on to those campaign pledges and stuff, and I really encourage you guys to check out his work. He's a good voice in the indie community. He knows his capes. He knows his comics, and he's always there doing new things while paying respect to the things we grew up on. And I'll die on that hill for you, Daniel. Like I'll say that forever and ever, unless you shit the bed one day and change that. But up until now, you're still doing that. And that's why I love you. And like, do you have anything else maybe you want to shout out or anything else before we wrap it up?
Well, while I'm here, I want to shout out a couple Kickstarters I'm backing currently.
Okay.
I also had that thing with Charlie McGalvey's doing an Aspire Squirrel. If you don't know anything about Aspire Squirrel, it's his flagship title of his universe.
Yeah, that's his baby.
I did a short for that's coming up soon.
Is that the one that's on Zoop right now?
Oh no. This is going to be on Kickstarter I think in a few weeks.
Okay.
This is the 80-page special.
Oh, cool.
So
I didn't know he was going back to Kickstarter. I thought he was all on Zoop now.
He goes back and forth.
Okay.
So the four I'm backing currently right now, Requiem 1, because you had David Hazan recently on.
Yeah. And that needs to be funded. That's stupid that it's not funded yet. There's so much talent behind that.
Yeah. Southbound by Jared.
There you go.
Memoirs of the Morbid Blue Edition.
I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
That's by hold on, I had a whole bunch of people in it because it's an anthology. Grant Lecard is show running it.
Okay.
It has some old favorites in there. James Ferguson, Philip C. Butehorn, Matsumo. Those are the people I know off the top of my head. And then finally from Marcus Jimenez over at what's it called?
Boundless.
Is Falling Stars #1.
Yeah, him and Frankie, right?
Yeah, and Tobin
Rassicot, one of the greatest letterers, and his wife is a phenomenal artist. I'm posting links in the chat. Let's see.
Want me to do that other one?
I don't have Charlie's. I don't think.
Probably. I think it's on pre-launch still.
Okay. Yeah. Post me that. I got everything else. I got Falling Stars. I got Southbound, and I got Requiem posted in the chat for everybody.
I sent you Memoirs of the Morbid as well just now. Hold on.
I got you.
Spider Squirrel. Oh, I just ran past it. Is it? Yes, this is it. The Time Size Special.
Let's see.
The Dysfunctional Duo is back.
And all right. Yeah, there's a handful of campaigns in the chat that you guys can all check out. Shout out to Ronan who just backed them all. He's got no money left. That's why we love you, baby. Thank you so much, Ronan. But yeah, like Daniel, it was great catching up with you. I'm so excited. You're at oh wait, that's Falling Stars. I was like,
yeah, I'm still at two.
I was like, you're at 100 backers. I was like, wait, that's less than what we started.
I'm still at 2437 and 120 backers.
All right. Well, hopefully more people watch it later. Get some add-ons, get some bonus stuff. 22 days. You got plenty of days left to go. You're gonna be just fine. You just might have to watch it a little bit longer. But I believe in it. I think you're good to go. And I'm excited. I'm excited for more. I'm excited for you. And man, just like I said, just keep being positive. Keep being a good face for this community, because we need people like you. And I hope you know that, like, deep down in your bones, like, you're a good voice and a good presence in this community. And I hope people really do appreciate you for stuff like that.
Thanks.
All right. Well, hey everybody, it's like I said, it's Friday. It's time to start the weekend. What a better way to start the weekend than to drop some money from all these awesome campaigns that Daniel shared, and to show some love to Daniel's campaign itself. Rook Knight. It's very good. It's very violent. It's very fun, and it's a great start to a very cool scenario that I'm ready to follow Daniel wherever he takes me. I'm never gonna tell him no. I'm always gonna be there to follow, because he tells really, really damn good stories, and that's why he's in the direct market now, and he's moving on up in the world. Follow his link tree, give him a follow everywhere, subscribe to his Substack. He's good people, trust me. Like, you want all the Daniel Kalban content that you can have in your life. Everybody who tuned in tonight, like, thank you so much for spending your Friday night with us. I really, really appreciate it. Always remember to love more, hate less, read comics, and back these amazing Kickstarters that we keep telling you to back. All we can do is recommend them, but like, it's you guys gotta put the money where our mouth is. So hopefully that stuff happens. Daniel, again, man, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm real sorry that you had to deal with the weird pledging stuff and someone stealing a book from your table, but also, like, it couldn't have happened to another better person who could find a way out of that and not get too down about it. So it's your own. You've got the gusto and the magic behind you to get past these things. So, so some people think that the universe only gives us what we can handle. And I don't know. You seem to be handling things really well. I really appreciate you, dude. I really want you to know that. I just, seriously, like, I dig your books. I dig you as a person, and
thanks.
I'm glad Indie Comics has you.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome, sir. All right, everybody. I'm going to set everybody free. Enjoy your weekend. Read some cool comics. If you got the funds, back some cool campaigns. That's all I can recommend at the end of the day. And we'll be back next week with some more cool comic book chats on Blake's Buzz Live.
It's Blake's Buzz Live.